The brainstorming area is where you can get over writer's block and spur some creative ideas. It has two features: spin the model, which simply brings up one dramatic structure after another. And when you get a little bit familiar with what these story point terms mean, you can read down this list and get a real feel for this structure and say, is that sort of what I have in mind? Well, if it's close or has some elements that you sort of like, you can then hit OK, and that structure will be assigned throughout the software. Then you can go to other areas in the software to alter and refine this structure and tailor it to just what you really did have in mind. Also, there's a character generator that will allow you to have Dramatica automatically create characters based on the parameters you've selected here. You can adjust how much it's done automatically or how much manual control you have. And when you're all finished, you've got an entire cast, and it can all be done with the software if you want. Then you can go into the character area of the software and again alter or modify those characters to be just the ones you had in mind. Because the character generator creates characters, and the spin the model function chooses thematic items that appear in your story and also generates the plot accessible through the plot progression window, you can actually create your characters, plot, and theme automatically here in the brainstorming area. But doesn't this rob an author of creativity? Not at all. There's no storytelling here. It's just the raw structure and the raw characters. Take a look at some of these terms. We know here that in this structure, the main character's resolve is change. They're going to change their nature. But in regard to what? What is that change? And here, the objective story domain is physics, meaning that the overall story is about some kind of activity. What's the activity? We haven't got a clue. But we know it's going to be an activity instead of some other kind of story because that's what's in the structure. So, the brainstorming area can give you all of the underlying foundational blueprints you need for your character's plot and theme, but then you still have to build your story based on those blueprints. So, even with everything you do in brainstorming, you've still got a lot of work to do on your own, a lot of creative work. But if you ever get stuck, this is a great place to go to get unstuck.